be watching this both on YouTube and Twitch. For those of you who are unaware of who I am, my name is Aiden Krieger, better known by my player tag as AK under the Play vs. High School Esports League. I am a professional player and captain for the Crestmont University Falcons Esports team. I have played chess for my entire life, just about. Like, at the time of making this, I'm 18 years old. I've played since I was 2 on a very specific chess set. Let me grab it right here. This was my starting set. These small little Grandmaster regulation chess set pieces. And I've had this in my possession for my entire life, just about. I played on this for 8 years until I was 10. And my family ended up finding this board, which I have used up until this point today. Which many of you are familiar with because at some point in your lives, you've probably played on it at some point. But that's not the point of this video. Now is it? Now you may be wondering, what is the point of this video? Well, to make it clear, let's just start with what's happening currently. So if I move my camera down to right here. Alright. Let's take it from the top, shall we? From chess.com, as of yesterday, at my stream ending just after 9:49 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hello, Crestmont AK. Your chess.com account has been closed on the basis of violating our fair play policy. Our team takes account closures very seriously and imposes restrictions to maintain a fair platform for players worldwide. We only close accounts when we're confident they breach our fair play policy. To resolve this violation and continue playing on chess.com, click the button below. If you select the option to create a new account, any existing premium memberships will be automatically transferred, as well as your friends list and league division. Sincerely, from the chess.com Fair Play team. So, most of you wouldn't understand what's going on here. But to put it simply, what they're saying is, during some of my matches, is what they're saying, there has been some form of fair play violation. The most common of these being outside use of an engine source, analysis board, opening explorer, blah blah blah. Let's get straight down to business here. No, and no, I don't use those. In fact, I teach people to actually play physical boards rather than relying on anything digital, because digital will just tell you what Stockfish wants. And if you only learn what Stockfish wants, then you're not getting the point of chess. The other part of fair play violation, that is a major part, is receiving outside assistance in any way, shape, or form from a friend, or like if you had an earbud in here telling you the moves. I'll move in. Nothing there, and computer here, nothing here, and nothing here. No violations whatsoever. None. So, today's video is going to be my defense against the ban, proving my legitimacy by reviewing my last 5 games in depth in every detail, matter, and form that I possibly can. And then on top of this, we're going to look at all the ways that my account could have been flagged, because there are some ways that this likely could have happened. Before I begin, I want to emphasize this point, because this is not the first time this has happened. On April 7th, 2026, my account was also banned. My OG account was banned. I sent an appeal in then, analyzing and throwing in all the games that I had on stream, on both YouTube and Twitch, with all screen recordings that I had on my school computer at the time, because I was still in high school. They denied this, and so I decided, well, in that case, we're just going to play on LiChess until they reverse their decision. It took them a whole 2.5 months. And you want to know why? For starters, they never looked at the evidence I presented. One of the main things about chess.com is that they're supposed to look over at least some sort of evidence that the creator claims if they're making an appeal. I am a content creator. Yet, they looked over nothing. Not a single stream, not a single game, not even my profile at the time. None. So you may be thinking, okay, what does that have to do with any of this then? Well, if you claim that you're making the fair play system heard by everyone, because you're looking at everything that they're saying and, like, taking in everybody's words and what they're saying, yet you're not doing that, that's a double standard. So I'm going to turn off my camera for this short period of time now. Mainly from here, I played a lot on LiChess, and I actually played Blindfolded up to 2100 ELO. Blindfolded. Emphasis on Blindfolded. At that point, chess.com unbanned me because, well, I proved myself being a legitimate player, and at that point, they told me 3 things. The first of which is that I had to create a new account, which, obviously, the whole point of appealing is that you're supposed to keep your account. That didn't happen. The second of which is that I had to stay silent about the banning, which, again, I'm a professional esports player. I'm not going to stay silent about that. And third, they wanted me to completely stay on chess.com. Also, not happening because I hit 2100 on LiChess, so obviously I wanted to grind on there as well. They still gave me back my account, and I was able to play it 28 days. As of last night, though, my chess.com account has been banned again. Yet they proved that I'm a legitimate player, originally. So, let's first go into the reasons why the system could have flagged me a second time. Because they have an automated system that flags people. That's the whole point of their fair play, is they have an automated system that compares thousands of games a second just about. And I don't know the maths behind their system, but they essentially compare your elo and your moves to, like, how likely could this move have been played by a human compared to how likely could this player have used an engine cloud. And obviously my number must have been very high because I got this. The first of my reasons as to why this could have been high is I only play Rapid. That is the only game mode that I play on any chess platform, really. I will not play Bullet. I will not play Blitz. I've debated on playing Classical. But the fact of the matter is, I only play Rapid. 10-minute control, to be fair. Because really, that's where you're going to find all the best players, not 10+5, contrary to popular belief. So almost all my matches on both platforms have been flat 10-minute no increments. Secondly, I rely on certain openings only. This is an emphasis point. If you look back at my account on either chess.com or LiChess, or you've watched me the streams on here, you know that I play the following. The English opening for white, almost every time. The Karukan for black against 1 e4. And against 1 d4, I will play the Horwitz defense, which can easily be turned back into a Queen's Gambit declined, and can take many shapes and patterns. These are the only openings I will play. If white pulls anything outside of the e4-d4 realm, I play only principled moves because I have watched a lot of YouTube theory on chess. Close to, probably at the time of recording this, 3,000 hours worth of nothing but theory. I know. Call me a degenerate or something. The fact of the matter is, that's the biggest point as to how the system could have flagged, because I only play certain openings, and I've studied the living daylights out of them. So it might have been like, holy smokes, this guy knows what he's doing all too well for his elo, he's gotta get out of here. And that could very well be the case as to why that happened. Either the time control or the openings. Another of which is that, well, my time on chess.com, most of the time it would pair me up against lower elo players. I.e., when I was a 1900, it would pair me up against a 1750 for some reason. I don't understand why. Now, the problem with this is that on LiChess, if chess.com had checked out my LiChess profile, 2330 rapid. So, 600 elo difference. Yeah. I squashed the living daylights out of 1700s, 1800s, and 1900s. Let's put it that way. Thus, why my account had so many wins and had not plateaued yet, because I was only 2100 on chess.com. I could have easily hit 2200 before I started running into struggles that would have dropped me back down. The next of these points that could have led to a false positive of the system possibly banning my account a second time is simply the matter of the fact that, one, my schedule is never constant when playing chess, and two, I often play a lot of games on stream. And by a lot, I mean a lot. To the point in which I could literally play like 10 games a day. So chess.com, looking at this, probably thinking, alright, this guy has only played for a month on this new account that we forced to give him from the original banning. And yet he's played like over, gosh, what would have been, like 300, 400? I don't remember the exact number, but it's in the hundreds easily. Games on this account. Like, that's 10 per day, guys. 10. Those are the major reasons as to why there could have been a false positive. My main problem, though, is that there's a high chance that even if I'm going to send this appeal, this will be a lot like the first time, in which any of the following could and probably will occur. The first of which is that chess.com will not look at my evidence again. They will straight up refuse it and ban my account again. The second of which is that no human input is done whatsoever. Even though it's supposed to be a fair site that's looking after all players, including those false positive banned, when in all reality they're completely legit, yet the system finds them guilty. And the third of which is them not upholding to their own words that they sent me the first time. Because I proved myself the first time, and they unbanned me, and they asked me to stay silent about this, and now 30 days later they're trying to do the same exact thing. You can already see the contradictions that are happening at this point. I don't want to take too much time, though, when it comes to this stream, especially since I also want to put this into a YouTube video. That way it's much more easily accessible for chess.com to find. With that, that is all the talking I will be doing about the ban itself. I will be submitting an appeal after this video is made, either later tonight or tomorrow early in the morning. At this time, though, we'll be analyzing my last 5 games that I've done, and because I can no longer access chess.com due to them banning me, I had to pull up a game analysis site on Google. So special shout out to WinTR Chess for allowing me to pull up my games. We will be looking and analyzing at all the moves I did in my last 5 games. Starting with my only loss recently on the 24th of August, the night I was banned. Begin analysis. Now this player will be listed twice. The first of which is this game in which I lost to them. Now, I mean, it's pretty obvious here if you look at the right. I'm a 2300 realistically on LiChess. This is a 2000. I've got a 98 by some miracle, like getting anything above a 95 on either side. Let me move my camera here because you guys can't actually see what's going on here, which is actually concerning. The fact that I'm getting... Oh, it adjusted itself. There we go. The fact that I'm getting anything above a 96 is absurd. That's... Like, that doesn't happen very, very often in my games. Like, sure, I'll get those rare occasions on LiChess, but this is one of the first games that I ever hit a 96 ACK on chess.com. And today we're going to be looking at all the moves in depth. Here we go. Of course, since I'm white, I always start with c4. Anybody who's been watching this channel will know for a fact that I always teach the English. It's the most absurd opening that wins you free elo, just about, people. Anybody under 1500 that needs a free opening for white, that requires not much opening theory to be known, yet absolutely smacks the living daylights out of black, the English is your best friend that is used under 1500, 1500 to 2000, 2000 to 2500, and it's even used at the GM level by Mr. Fabiano himself. So why aren't you playing it? E6, the Agincourt. This is not a good opening against the English. I have already talked about this. This is one of the ones that is most played. But in all reality, you're just saying, I'm going to push d5. Does it look like I care? d4. I'm asking you to push d5. What I'm also doing is allowing knight to c3, bishop to either e3 or f4. Knight to f3, which would protect this. The queen's automatically protecting this. Overall, I have multiple options. Meanwhile, black has already determined what his next move is going to be. And surprisingly, I did not expect knight f6. To be honest, I don't expect knight f6 that much in an English opening. That's the second move. I expect it as the first move, not the second. So in this case, I just pull out my knight like I always do. Because of the Agincourt, I played d4. Most of the times, I would teach e3 before d4, but the only reason you can play d4 before e3 ever happening is because black played an Agincourt. That is the only reason. Again, if you've been watching this channel, you would know that. Bishop to b4. Completely crashing the English opening, and we're now in a Nimzo Indian. I strongly hate this line as an English opening enthusiast, because it's the most played line when it comes to an Agincourt. I wish this line didn't exist. It creates misery. Keep in mind, my opponent's 2000. Their account was only 24 days old. e3. Going back to my theory. d5. Very good move, attacking the center. Rather than taking, I always teach f3. f3 because then you have multiple options. Let's see which one happens. c5. Okay. Well, now I'm just going to bring out my bishop and I'm going to castle, and everything on my end is going to be perfectly fine. How about you, opponent? Takes. A very strong move. Because you're just taking one of my central points. That's really all you're doing. You also have ideas like knight to here even. You also have some Willy Wonka ideas with the queen, but mainly, your king's safe, he can castle. Black's is doing perfectly fine here. And I just castle immediately, and I'm like, okay. Let's castle together, and I'll take that pawn. And now the position is just like, it's bland. There's nothing happening. I mean, my bishop's a literal sniper rifle. His isn't as much, and then his other bishop's at home. Like, it's sick. Knight comes out to c6. Again, I said that knight c6 is a very strong move for black. He didn't play it in the correct order that he probably should in an English opening, but regardless, black is playing very well. Obviously, a3. Whichever side you didn't castle, you want to kick if there's a piece, before ultimately bringing your queen out, bringing your bishop out, letting the rooks see each other, and absolutely annihilating your opponent. Bishop to a5. Smart idea. I'm still going to bring out my queen regardless. I will say queen to c2 was a horrible move. If I could take back this position, I would probably have done b3 at first glance. c2 was not a smart move for me. That was a horrible move for me. Hello to Carnegie in the chat. We're back here with something you may recognize, because it's happening again. Yay. C takes d4. A very strong move that takes full control of the center for black. He literally owns everything. Here, well, he double owns here, actually. He literally owns everything in the center of the board. He has all the free real estate, and the king is safely tucked, the queen's protecting the center. Obviously, Stockfish says it's better. Don't listen to Stockfish. Stockfish is a horrible teacher. Rook to d1. Hello, little friend. Let me show you my sniper rifle. Get back. And instead, black says, no, I won't. And I say, okay. It takes and takes and takes and... Ooh, shiny. Now you saw that little spaz. Because bishop a5 gave me the advantage somehow. Or was that black? Yeah, it gave black the advantage because he found it. At this point in the match, if you're white, you just have to push your pawns. If you're black, you have to pray that you get a miracle in the center. Of course, both of us are like, ooh, knight. Me see knight. Me attack knight. Again, I'm not the best chess player. I'm only a 2300 that's still learning. I know a lot of opening theory, but beyond that, I just stick to principles and hope and pray that my position is good. Knight outpost in the center, because my bishop's here. It's only a temporary outpost, but shh. Let me feel good about my position, please. Takes and takes and... Oh no! The king! No! Okay, but jokes aside, my king is out in the open now. He's practically gasping for air. The fact that the 2000 found this move is absurd. Let's start with that. Queen to d6 is a diabolical move, because not only are the rooks connected, not only do you have a double sniper rifle that is lining up for, if I play this wrong, what could be mate on the board this early, but you now have a gigaline for any of your rooks to literally just snipe down this entire fight. Absolute cinema. Of course, I just say, haha, fork. And he's like, haha, no. Now, just keep in mind the accuracies, guys. 2000, 2330 LiChess. He's doing better. Bishop takes f6, obviously, because we want the knight gone. We want to simplify this position as much as possible, because we're a very methodical player. Also, we hate endgames, so we're praying that our opponent loses and makes a blunder. They don't. Somehow, pawn takes is also the best move here. Literally, both kings now are gasping for air. Like, both of them are practically begging for something to protect them. That is how bad this position is. Yet somehow Stockfish loves it. He's like, oh yeah, let the kings be open. This is amazing. Brother, while I'm playing this, I'm just thinking to myself, takes. And takes. Man, I hate to do this, but I think I need to take. Like, asking for a queen trade. Very strong. No thanks. I am not doing that. Like, that was a very nice offer for you, but no. I want my queen to continue to attack your king side. And let me just point out how king h8 is the best move here. Unless you're a grandmaster, Black, you aren't seeing that. Like, look at this. 98, guys. He's playing like a literal GM. Guys, he's playing like Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, Fabiano, Gukesh. He's literally playing like all the greats right now and giving me the literal belt-to-butt treatment. Bishop to d3, threatening mate in 1. Denies mate in 1 while also checking my king. Denies mate again. Reattempts for mate in 2. Denied. And here, I say, take it. You wanna know why? Because at this point in the match, I realized I had nothing to play for. This is merely a matter of how long I can survive against Black. The analysis tells you everything you need to know. He's cheating. Like, so at this point, I'm just like, okay. My rook attacks you. My queen attacks you. Why don't I just sacrifice the bishop? Now, I don't understand how this was brewing. I'll be brutally honest. But my opponent did. And in this position, all I saw was the rook! A double sacrifice. Saying, I will give you the entirety of this position. But I will try to win you at your own game. You are up a knight. But currently, I have a better attack than you do, which is the only reason that Stockfish says it's equal. But again, look at me. Do not listen to Stockfish. Stockfish is a liar. Stockfish doesn't help you at chess. Stockfish doesn't do anything to help you in life. Play on a physical board, people. Like, literally, you could just get a wooden set for like $10. Heck, you could ask me to ship you over this. Sure, the bishop on the one side is damaged, but it's still playable. Don't ask me how the bishop got damaged. It was my dog. No, literally it was. Anyways. takes. Forced, obviously. Because if you don't, then you just made it on the spot. Check. Rook. And I'm just trying, at this point I'm just like, I don't want to trade anymore. And you want to know why? He has a knight. If his knight ever gets in the game, it's GG's go next. And there it is. The knight. And at this point I'm thinking, what do I have anymore? Like, I'm not fully sure what I have anymore in this position. The analysis is taking its dear time. Is there any way to, like... For the sake of this video, we're going to download the big stockfish. And we're willing to take a lot more time for it to fully download here. Because I want to get the full accuracies. And at this position, I'm just thinking to myself, how in the world is this man being able to defend me so well? Like, my highest rated victory, guys, has been against the 2500 on LiChess, which happened once. And my highest rated win on here was against 2100. My biggest game ever was against Clasta at 2600, in which I played one of the greatest English games ever. Check out the YouTube on that for a video, where we literally drawed. I drew against a 2600. That is my greatest game yet. And I take. I don't even think about it when I'm playing this move. I just say, what? Like, I'm looking at this knight move and I'm like, huh? Did you mean to do that? Did you mouse slip? No. They're just cheating. So, check. Takes. Find them. Because now I'll attack this, and this, and if you move your king, I'll attack that. And he's just like, okay. Because I'll attack this, and this. Also, I'm defending this, and I'm wanting it to promote here, here, and here. And I'm like, now what? Check. Check. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh my days, he's going to flag me. The cheater's going to flag me and try to get, like, 3 ego points off me. No, the next 20 moves or so is just nothing but checks. Like, I kid you not, there's nothing to learn from this, kids. For all of you watching at home, there's literally nothing to learn from this. This man is straight up playing 98-9. He's on the verge of playing a near-perfect game against me. A 2300. He should not be winning. Let's put it that way. Finally, he does a king move, which, may I add, the best move. 99. 99, guys. While I was back on chess.com for the month that I was, I ran into 42 cheaters. At the time of making this, 26 were banned. 16, one of which being this man right here that I faced against, who I confirmed on stream was cheating, got away. Best move. Re-establishing your attack and controlling the center completely. Also, you're still denying the promotion. E6. Somehow I have a chance here. I don't see it. All I see is, oh, push pawn time. Like, I don't know what else. I'm asking for this, so I can move my queen over here, get a queen trade, and try to win by my, endgame knowledge. Instead, he's just like, nah, let's trade early. Alright. I ain't complaining. And I took a whole, 30 seconds in this position, debating whether the pawn move or the queen trade was better. Ultimately, I decided the pawn move, which is the best move. I'm surprised to see that, looking back at it. I thought for sure the queen move would have been better because takes and takes. If I ran a pawn up, then I would have been able to continuously apply pressure on the king there. Not to be, though, he finds queen g5, the best move in the position. I cannot begin to explain how this is the best move in the position, unfortunately. I don't have the knowledge to begin to explain this, but what I do know is that it attacks this pawn and moves the queen out of getting captured. I just straight up take the pawn now. I'm like, okay, let's play the same game. And he happily obliges and is like, okay, check. Now I really want to trade. I'm like, okay, let's really prove your TV. Alright, bet. I'm not even going to trade. I'm going to do queen takes f5. The best move! Again! Man, this guy is not hiding that he's cheating whatsoever. a4. Passing move. Somehow the best move. I just saw this as, it's just passing the time. Queen to c2. Also the best move. For reasons I cannot begin to tell you. Mainly, it attacks this, I guess, but now I just protect it and check. Here. Check. I really don't want him to run there, but he did. And I blundered here. I blundered. Somehow I needed to find this. Instead, I found this. Takes. And I resigned in this position. 99. 97. This is just the first of my 5 games that I've played. But as you can clearly tell by this game analysis, 1, this first game was against a cheater. 2, the cheater's still on the loose. And 3, I've just been able to explain every move like I did on stream. Even under time pressure. Speaking of which, I was planning on doing a stream tomorrow, and for my Wild Wednesday, and currently that would be chess, but I only have half my clock given to me. So, like, if I played under a 10-minute time control, I would only be able to pull 5. Here in game number 2, against this player, they decide to actually turn off the engine and actually prove why I'm the better player by a nautical mile. Even though at times, they still pull out the best moves by some miracle. I mean, this chess chart has everything you need to know. Or did I win this guy? I forget now. No, he won, didn't he? Or did he just blunder at the end? I forget. No, I think he still won by checkmate, because I lost twice. So I'm black here. I didn't realize that I was black. And I do pull a brilliant out of my butt this game. So stay tuned, guys. Now, d4. I hate queen's pawn games. If you watch this channel, I hate them with a passion. I would much rather prefer king's pawn, but I always play the Horwitz defense. Yes! It's just a cheap rip-off of the queen's pawn, queen's gambit. He still plays the queen's gambit. Dang it. No. I did not mean to go to the end. Good golly. Horwitz, you always play knight f6. It's theory. Knight c3, attacking the center. Bishop to b4, attacking the knight. Again, this is literally just a Nimzo Indian. You can now see how many times the Nimzo Indian pops up in a chess game, and why I am extremely annoyed by playing this line. But I never accept this line of the Queen's Pawn game as a Nimzo Indian. I always accept it as a Horwitz. Because it ain't anything other than a Horwitz. Now my opponent plays e3, which is amazing to find, because it opens up one of your bishops, it opens up your knight. Of course, your other bishop's going to be somewhat weak, but you just have to accept that fact. And I just castle, because I've literally got everything open on my king side, so make sure my king's safe. Bishop to d3. One of the smartest ways of playing a Nimzo Indian. I don't play this line. b6. Getting development ideas like pawn to c5, attacking the center. Knight to e2. The knight battery has been established. The queen can come out to here, and the bishop out to here, and it will allow the king to castle either way he chooses. d5. Rather than playing e5, I trick my opponent and play d5, which breaks the center the other way. And yet they still play castle. Dang. Obviously, fianchettoing your bishop is a very good idea. Bishop b7. I wasn't going to find d takes c4. I'm sorry, Stockfish. I don't play like you. a3. Kick the bishop. Bishop d6. Save the bishop. b4. Bishop can't come back. D takes c4. Cut the center in half. Also, hello, bishop. You must take me. Okay. Will do. Now what? c5. Attack the center the other way. And he plays d takes c5. Brilliant. Of course, Stockfish ain't gonna admit that, but that's brilliant. Because b takes, and then... What? What? Knight to b5. Me see bishop. Me attack bishop. This is how this guy actually plays, because he's 2000. Obviously. Not like the other game, in which he blatantly used Stockfish and pulled a 99 accuracy. And I just hit him with a brilliant, because why not? No, but to put it realistically in this possession, I'm just thinking to myself, okay. So, let's just go through all the options here. If bishop to here, he plays bishop to here. If bishop to here, I die. If bishop to here, I die. And if bishop to here, I also die. I could go here if I wanted to. But am I really that much of a wimp? No. I look danger right into the eyes and say, heh, heh, try me. Bang! Brilliant! Brilliant! And simply put, takes. Now, when I played this, I didn't think it was brilliant. I'm just like, my bishop's dead either way, I just have to take the pawn, and just accept the fact that I'm going to be down in material. Somehow this is brilliant. Most brilliance I'm able to explain on this channel. This one, for the life of me, I cannot explain. But what I can explain is knight to g4, checking the king, and it's somehow the only good move. All I saw here is bang, 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 and ideas later on of knight to f2, and if the king has moved to h3, it's a fork. Gosh darn it, he played g3 instead, shutting it all down. Well, b5. All this does is save my knight. Like, literally, I'm on borrowed time right now. I'm not really doing that well. f4, kicking the queen, and queen to h5, saying, ooh, look at this juicy check. He denies it with rook h1, and I'm like, why? Somehow that's the best move. Again, I cannot begin to explain this. Here was my thought process. Here I'm dead. Here I'm dead. Here I will be dead with knight to here. Here I'm dead. Here I'm dead. Here I'll also be dead through a queen trade with the knight just overwhelming my forces. So here's the only move. Somehow it agrees. I'm surprised. Stockfish actually agrees with my professional studies for once. Queen to d3, asking for a queen trade. I debated on doing this for a whole minute. Ultimately, I decided bishop e4 instead, saying, no, you can't have my queen, you can have my bishop instead. Now, of course, the fish doesn't like this. We don't care. f5 is the best move because it attacks the queen. Again, I really don't have to do anything in this position besides shift my king. Queen to g5, the only good move, again. Like, I am cooking this man with great moves because they're the only moves that keep this game alive. Anything else just loses on the spot. Also, this does numerous things. It attacks this twice, 3 times, and it attacks this pawn. I know, bet you didn't see all that, did you? Well, rook h5 is the best move, shutting down the queen immediately. Again, this man is playing a brilliant game still, even without using an engine. This is what people should be doing. Queen takes, obviously. I mean, it's just a free rook. But he does queen takes e4. Now I'm a bit concerned, because I've just seen my bishop get absolutely murdered. So e takes f5. Saying, okay, queen, back off. And he does queen takes e8. Like, brother. I teach my community. Well, we're not that far in. I teach my community, look at everything available on the board, right? This is not good. Sure, it may seem like it's a good move at first. But look at your king. He's out in the center. He has no friends. What are you doing? What are you doing? Knight here. Attack this pawn for free. Queen takes e6. I'm apparently blind and can't see that a queen is attacking my knight. I'll have to relearn the fact that I am apparently blind. And yeah, just check. At this point, I'm just like, okay, take everything with your queen. I'll checkmate your king at this rate. Forced, king f3. But what if I told you I can check again? Knight to e5 check. Opening the door for the queen once again. It's a check here. And there's not very many spaces that the king can go to. King f2 is forced. But what if I told you I could pull another good move? Knight takes the queen. Because it's a free queen. And now the endgame that you're looking at is a very complex endgame. One that a single mistake can end it. 2 bishops and a knight for a queen. This is absolutely ridiculous. Well, actually, 2 bishops and a knight for a queen and 3 pawns. This is absolutely absurd to think about. Bishop takes c5. Takes pawn. Smart. Rook to d8. The fish doesn't like this. Oh well. All I see is a free rook, and I'm going to take... Not a free rook. What am I saying? All I see is a free line, and I'm going to take advantage of it one step at a time. Let me turn this back on and throw it over here. Knight to d6, I'm blocking that from ever happening, and I'm just like, okay, let's trade. I have nothing to lose, you have nothing to lose, let's do it. Now I just check you. Okay, that was very rude. I'm going to take your bishop now. Okay, but I'll go more in depth on those moves. Queen to h4, because here, yes, I saw here and here. And I almost, within a second, I just went straight. Like, ooh boy. Bishop to b2. It's the best move. Why? Queen to d3. La di da di da di da di da di da. Everything's getting attacked. Rook to c1. Attack the knight. But white, you left a pawn hanging. Checks captures threats, my friend. That rook move threatens a knight. But what do I want in this position? Any advantage I can get, and you've just given one to me. Especially at the 2000 level. You have to, when it comes to these, towards the end of the middle game, you have to realize what you want and what your opponent wants. And you have to spend more time on your moves. Once you hit the end game, though, yeah, blitz your moves. But the end of the mid game is the most important part of the mid game. Because if you don't play your cards right, you're going to get mated instantly. Knight to d4. Double attacking the knight by both the knight and the rook. And I just walk away. I don't have to agree to your terms, why? Simply put, it's a rook and a bishop for a queen and her 2 pawns. Her Majesty is winning. Rook to c2. I cannot begin to explain what rook to c2 does. h5. Pushing the flank in the endgame. Always do this. Always. Push one of the flanks. Specifically the side that king sided. Because the king, with his pawns, marching forward, is best in an endgame. Even better than any of the other pieces on the board. The king is the literal menace to society in an endgame. Knight to f3, limiting down my movement options. So f6, saying, okay, I can play a waiting move. I'm going to force you to make a move. And he plays rook to d2, attacking my queen. That's a very good move. Unfortunately, I can just block it, though, with knight d5. And now I still have ideas of this. And just limiting down his king's movement in general. Knight to d4. I can't begin to explain what knight to d4 does, but really, the knight was already there. He went over here. He came back. He's still attacking this pawn. What's new? Nothing's new. I'm going to attack the knight. I'm going to defend my pawn. I'm going to defend my knight. I'm going to attack that pawn twice now, and I'm going to infiltrate your position completely. Rook to e2, stopping all of that instantly. Very smart. g5, making the literal Great Wall of Pawns, in the hopes that white blunders. And he plays knight f3, which is again the best move because it attacks the queen. That is the only reason it's the best move in this position. So queen to e4. And at this point in the game, my clock is just under 2 minutes, meanwhile my opponent's at 3 minutes. And I'm just laughing, because at this point I'm thinking, he's trying to flag me, isn't he? Knight to d2, attack the queen again. At this point, I'm just like, I don't want you attacking me no more. I'm going to literally put myself in the corner of the board if it means I have to. Somehow that's the best move, looking back. I cannot begin to tell you why Stockfish says that's the best move, but what I can tell you is, it stops any more queen threats. Knight to f1. Why it's the best move? You got me. Oh, actually, queen's options are dead. She can't escape. Okay, not like I care. h4. Bishop to d4. There's nothing that does as far as I could tell, both when I played the game and reviewing it now, because that just literally limits down your king's movement. H takes g3, obviously. It's an equal pawn trade. And then I'll just take your knight. And now I'm just breaking your position because this is what should have happened in the first game. And at this point, my opponent finally decided that enough was enough, and he resigned. Two games down, 3 more to go. Hello to those of you who are joining the stream, live stream here on YouTube. Chess.com has wrongfully banned my account yet again, even though they told me that I was legit the first time they banned my account and told me to stay silent after the first ban. Because they've banned it a second time, I am making a stream in my defense, which will be sent alongside my appeal, effective immediately tomorrow morning. 3 more games before we shut down for tonight, and give our final thoughts here. Search games. We finally don't have to deal with Cosmic Cheshire, but rather, how about another cheater on the walk to 2100, guys? Introductions to Mr. Knight 08, whose profile was created this year, but only played 32 games on it over the course of a 6-month period. Yeah, you can do basic math there on how likely he is that he's cheating then, because he's won 26 games, lost 5, and draw 1. Literally anybody would tell you that's over an 80% win rate, and yeah, he's cheating. But hey, if you don't believe it for face value, how about you let the analysis on WinTR Chess speak for itself? Now I'm getting a notification from my Discords. Yes, I am live streaming. One moment, everyone. I bob my head every now and then because I'm so used to music being played on the streams, but tonight I'm not doing any, mainly because it's 9 p.m. where I am right now, so not really a point doing it. Alright. We're gonna place you right down there. Alright. Game 3. Man's account is 6 months old, yet he's only played 32 games on it. Yeah, I'll let the accuracy speak for themselves, shall we? English, again, Agincourt. There should be a clear sign anymore that these guys are cheaters. Bang bang. Somehow he plays c5, which, I was like, are we for real, brother? That is not an opening. That is me c center pawn, me attack pawn. Okay, right back at ya. e6. Yeah, it wasn't clear that this guy's cheating already. Yeah. a6 is excellent somehow. Dude, no human being, unless they're in a YouTube challenge, is playing this weird pawn structure. e4. Queen to c7. Wow! This does nothing. Like, honestly, at least try to be, if you're going to cheat on chess.com, at least try to be more stealthy about it, because I can easily tell anymore if anybody's cheating within my streams. G6 is an okay move, because it does nothing, besides fianchetto a bishop. Bishop e2, preparing for castling. Bishop g7, following the fianchetto. Castle, obviously, protecting your king. Knight to f6, attacking the center, and developing an important piece, also allowing kingside castle as well. e5, attacking said knight and forcing it to move. Knight to g4, the best move, somehow. I don't know how. Mainly it attacks here and here, but it still attacks here. But hey, why don't I just kick that knight? Now, of course, Stockfish doesn't like this, but any YouTuber would tell you, pushing your side pawn one square within the opening is perfectly fine. That's normal. Everybody does it. Goodbye, knight. He plays knight takes e5, the best move, because it's a free pawn. Not. He's blind. Knight takes e5. But actually, I'm the one who's blind. Because queen takes e5, and he's just up a full pawn on me. Now, Stockfish says I'm somehow winning. But all I see in this position is, I'm down a pawn. How in the world is this kid doing so well? Queen to b3. Obviously, when you're playing an English opening, you should, if you've castled your king fg, you should move your queen to b. If you've castled your king b and c, you should attempt to move your queen to f or g, preferably g, if at all possible. Queen to c7, the best move, because it defends this pawn. That's the only reason it's the best move in this position. But bishop to f3, completely controlling and locking down the center as of this time. Bishop to b7. Sniper rifle engage, or shall I say double sniper rifle. My bishop still has yet to get into the game. a4, beginning my push a little bit too early. I'm breaking principles. I apologize to everyone in my community, as I don't always do this. So, this was something I looked at, and I hope to improve on this in the future, because this was a horrible move to play in the first place. Castles. Very good by Black. Stockfish doesn't like it, but I fully agree with that move. a5. Just fully committing to my plan, and going guns and roses. b5. Shutting down my plans. Bishop to e3, finally getting my bishop developed. Unfortunately, Stockfish doesn't like this, mainly because of bishop. He didn't find it. Wow. I'm surprised. I mean, any normal human being here would just accept the pawn trade. My point exactly as to why this guy is yet another cheater. d6. Now you may be wondering, how is this a great move? And how in the world did you find it? Honestly, to be the most upfront I can be about it, I just essentially told myself, because I spent a whole 20 seconds on this move, I just decided I cannot be spending this much time. I'm fine with sacrificing a pawn. And it somehow is a great move, because the queen has to retreat. I can't begin to tell you why it's a great move, but hey, it's a great move. And bishop takes b7, which I took 30 seconds on looking and trying to find out if it was actually legit. But it is, and Stockfish loves it apparently. Again, we don't care about Stockfish, because queen takes, and we're right back to where we were. So I'm thinking for like another 12 seconds here, and I'm like, takes. And my thought process is free pawn. The main problem with that thought process, though, is knight to c6. And now you realize that Oh, snap. Where's my center? Like, genuinely, where's my center? It's gone. It's time to sack everything. Rook to a4! Brilliant! And you want to know why it's brilliant, kids? I mean, in this position, I just thought to myself, double defend, and we're going to infiltrate this queen. My opponent thought even more brilliantly. Stop the entire thought process immediately. So I just had to accept the fact that there was nothing in that position. And I have to reroute the knight. Bishop to e5. Simply put, we're attacking this pawn, and we've also got some very crazy ideas. Rook to d1. It's a semi-open file as there's still pawns, but putting this rook on this file rather than any other file, this is closed, this is closed, this is closed, this is closed, and this is closed. So obviously I want to put my rook here. Obviously Stockfish doesn't like this. Again, folks, we don't care about Stockfish. Train on your own. Play over the board. Play literal physical boards, please. F5, the best move. Why? Because it's literally a pawn protected by a rook. I don't know what else to say. Queen to c2. Literally saying, I will try to defend everything in this position, but I'm overworking myself and I can't. But I'm still going to try to trick my opponent into thinking that I can when I can't. And rook f7. How this is a good move, why this is a good move, again. Whoa, what happened? There we go. Why this is a good move, again. I can't tell you. I cannot begin to explain why it's a good move. So I'm just like, f3. I don't know what to do. I panicked. Yes, 2300's panic, kids. h6. That does nothing. Knight to c1. Rerouting again because I'm scared for my life. Queen a8. Also rerouting, though I would have rerouted it to somewhere else. Knight to d3, finishing my rerouting and attacking this, and also ideas on this later. And b3 is the best move, because it just straight up attacks the queen. Queen to e2. The only other semi-open file, although black has a bishop here. Bishop to f6 is the best move, because it protects the bishop. Knight to f4, double attacking this pawn. I also have ideas of taking this later. King to h7. This is a cheater move. This is where I draw the line, because there are so many other moves that humans would play in this position. One of which is what Stockfish is recommending. g5, kicking the knight and continuing your slow but sure advancement of the king's side. Not king h7. This is a difference, kids, and this is how you figure out whether you're playing a cheater or not. Bishop f2. Rerouting, because my entire attack's dead, and I'm scared of this guy. Queen to b7. Restarting the attack. Bishop b... I'm literally going back and forth like, can I flag this guy? Whoa. This is also what I would have done in this position. Rook to g8. Somehow they still haven't found g5, which literally any human would play, because it's a threat. I'm still like, I don't want that, so I'm just going to reroute my knight early. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, he doesn't mind. In fact, he's just going to protect everything in this position and attack my queen. Bishop takes. He's blind. Again, people, when you're in a position, checks, captures, and threats. He missed that I'm threatening his knight, and I missed that he was threatening my bishop. So king h1, I don't have any other move. g5, c5, again, attacking the center. and trying to get something going, as far as I can tell. Bishop f6. I can't begin to explain what that does either. Knight b4. Me c pawn, me attack pawn. Simple as that. Queen a7, protecting pawn. Sure. But I'm still going to take it. Because at this point, I'm just like, I'm going to throw everything at you, and we're going to see if you make a blunder. Sure. But I'm like, okay, let me take your bishop. And he's like, okay, let me take your knight. And I'm like, okay, let me take your pawn. And he's like, I thought about taking your pawn, but I finally found g4, g5. And I'm like, wow. F takes. Now what? Queen e2. Shing, shing, shing. And also the possibility of ladder mate if he gets a rook in. Now, of course, I'm just like, okay, queen trade. This is the last, like I said on stream, beyond this, I don't know what to play here. Because my man, he's literally more active than I am. And he accepted. And I'm like, oh, I have the glory land I'm going to promote, and you're not going to because your pawns are trapped. La-ti-da-ti-da. Takes and takes, and check, and run. Again, best move. Attacking the pawn. And I'm just like, take it. Just take it. Take everything in my position. It's for sale. Just give me my A-pawn, and I will win. And he's like, okay. And then he realizes at this point, he's like, oh, I might have made a mistake. Might have. Yeah, might have. I went too far. Might have? Yeah, might have. Again, this is a computer move. No human plays king to g6 here. Nobody does. That is second proof in this second game that he's a cheater. And rook to b8 secures promotion and the win. Yet somehow he does yet another bot move, king to f6. And I'm just like, fine. Continue using stockfish. I don't care. I literally don't care. It's 2 rooks against 1. I am going to ladder mate you at some point and make you cringe. Thank you for trading. I will now proceed to win you slowly but surely. King takes d6, attack his pawn, king a5, take his pawn, d5, king h3. I'm just trying to walk up the board and get another piece promoted if possible. King to d4, sure. But I can still take your pawn, and now I'm just completely winning. As long as I don't blunder my rook, I can win this. And in this position, he finally decided he would stop using the engine and resign. But to this day, he is still on the loose and has not been dealt with. Two more games here for you all. And if you want to tell your friends about this and help, because I don't know if they're going to actually listen to my appeal just like the first time. So if they don't, I have made a custom YouTube hashtag. That is the hashtag. If you guys want to upload your videos, your shorts, anything. Upload them right there. 2 more games here. First against the 2050, and then my inevitable promotion match. I mean, you guys can see from the chart alone. Come on, just say it at home. Say it at home. This guy is a cheater! Woo! Like, literally, the realisticness of chess.com is, once you hit anywhere between 1900 and 2100, almost every game is against a cheater. And this game begins like nothing other. King's Pawn, I always teach people. Card Khan. BC4, this is a stupid version of the Carter Khan. I just kick your bishop. You take, I take, nothing. There's nothing for white. I'm just winning. I'll just throw the hillbilly right back at you. Now what? Knight f3. Controlling the center with a knight rather than a pawn. Oof. Let me just, follow principled. When this bishop moves, you push e6. It can't return home, but that's the whole point of it. You're willing to give us this bishop immediately. d4. Controlling the center. Knight c6. Attacking the pawn. And if white doesn't respond, it's a free fork. Castles. The best move, because it protects your king. Knight to f6. I now have full control and development over the center. Meanwhile, white just has a knight, a bishop, and a pawn. You can obviously tell who's winning. Rook e1. Taking the semi-open file. And bishop e7, looking to castle kingside. Bishop to f4. Again, controlling the center as much as possible for white. And castles. Executing my plan flawlessly for the time being. c3. Creating a pawn structure. Queen to b6. This is principled for Carter Khan and English. The Carter Khan and English both teach you that whichever side you castle, you move your queen to the opposite on the second to last file. h3. The best move. This is seen in a lot of Sicilian lines. It will always prevent this knight. h6. Counteracting. Knight bd2. This is a knight battery between two knights. a5. Beginning my AB push on the queen side. a4. Denying the push. Knight to e4. Creating an outpost in the center and asking for a trade of knights early in the game. White accepts. Bishop takes is better because it attacks the knight. And my opponent pulls a brilliant. Because in this position, in the famous words of Gotham Chess, he sacrificed the rook! And I said, you're not him. You're not him. I'm sorry. You're not allowed to say that. And he played another amazing move, which attacks this free pawn. And I said, take it. My plan was never to have that thing have any hope in life. I mean, I've taken your rook, which is a far more valuable piece than a pawn. Its life is satisfied. And rather than taking it, he plays knight c4. Red flag, number 1. Queen a6. Attack. He has to go back. Rook fd8. Rooks in the center, or towards the side you're trying to attack, are the best. Queen to g4. Bang, bang, protected, protected. Bishop to g5. Asking for a trade of bishops. This is not smart for me. This only improves white's position after the trades. Thus why the computer says this is a great move. Knight takes e4 finally happens. A little suspicious to say at the very least, but I play on as if it's a normal game. Queen to b6, attacking this, and this. And he pulls another brilliant. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, like, I know it's defended by the queen, but like, you ain't 2050, are you, bud? Takes, check. This attacks here, and here, and here. You will lose a valuable piece this turn. But no, he doesn't even take. He says, I'll take the pawn. And I'll threaten mate. He'll threaten mate in 2. With queen to here. And then one of the most disgusting mates you could probably ever see in your life. I'm going to show it on stream. Let's say I move my queen to here. So I think what I would need to do here is... Let's just say I'm bad at the game. And... I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good move. Come on, everybody say it with me. This is not a good move. Trying to think what would be the worst moves in this position. Like here. But then I played this. And made in ones on the board. And I allow made in one. This is what can happen, guys. This is what can happen. This is why I'm thinking, okay, this guy's got to be like something along the lines of Stockfish. Because you're telling me he sees that as a 2050. This is what I expect from my 2300 gamers. Queen takes, obviously. Free pawn. Any person would take a free pawn at literally any given moment in a game. But no, this man just pulls a fourth brilliant. Like, we're not even 30 moves in and he's played 4 brilliants. There's so many red flags that this guy is, like, blatant cheating. But nah, I'm just like, okay, let me just take your rook. I'll take everything. I'll take your house. I'll act like the FBI. And now I've got to run my king, because if I don't, he's going to get mated. And now begins the most boring process in chess. When your opponent wants to threefold, but also wants to win you. I will now show you the most ridiculous way that white wins. Please buckle tight, as you will see a lot of great moves. Let me do it very slowly, so that all of you can understand what the computer thinks. Of course, I'm not going to analyze every single move, because this is the most boring part of the 5 games. And as I'm playing these moves, you guys can already tell that my king literally has only 2 moves. There's his first great. And it's only going to get better from here, guys. It's only going to get better. Yep. Because why not another? Why not another when he's blatantly cheating? Why? 7 great moves, 4 brilliant... Yeah. Totally. He's playing like Magnus Carlsen. Attack the pawn. Rather than taking it, he finds the best move again, which is check. And check again. And I'm just thinking, he's flagging me, so I have to sack my knight here. And now I just am hoping and praying that I have a chance. But no, he's just going to perpetual check me. I'm trying to make sure that I don't threefold. Yeah, now the computer says it's the best move to take the pawn. Not any other time, but now it's the best move. Again, there's so many red flags as to why this guy's a cheater. King d6, obviously. Another great move, because why not? And, yeah, why not? Why not just another brilliant? Like, literally, this is GM level stuff. And another. And another. And another. And another. And he's just slapping the living daylights out of me in this position. And another. And I'm just weaving and hoping and praying that I get something, and that he blunders, and that he still have a chance. But he's not giving me an inch. He's just pulling more and more great moves, and takes. And finally, after 30 moves, I am actually able to move a valuable piece that is not a king or a rook. After 30 moves, I'm somehow not threefold repetition, and I'm still going. This is how you take on a cheater, guys, and you make sure you get your money's worth out of it. Because he's still going to check you, and all he wants in life is to check you. But I've had enough when he moves a pawn, and I'm just like, take everything in my position. I will make you draw. And check. And another great move. And now the computer says it's a mistake. Oh, but it was fine earlier. Why is it a mistake now? Because he didn't find knight c7. But you know what I found? I still found the king to e6. And now my king can just freely roam into the center of the board. It still says white is winning. But in this position, I just ended up resigning. Because I had my fill, I had my share. And I just wasn't going to take it anymore. All these last 5 games, including this final one that you're going to see now, have been against cheaters. So I know it's not the most informative chess.com. But typically seeing it's best to analyze games when it comes to proving that you're legitimate. I did this before on my original ban, and you guys unbanned me. So I'm going to do the same thing here. This is the final game for the night. This is the final game for my defendment. After which, I will be attaching this to my short on my YouTube. And I will be proceeding with the appeal starting tomorrow morning. The evaluation's taking its dear time because I've ran 4 different evaluations through it, and it's like, oh my... It doesn't know what to think. To put it simply, this game was a roller coaster of emotions. As you can clearly tell by the analysis so far, but at the end of the day here, I'm just happy as black that I was able to win. Because this was not an easy game by any means. And if you notice, for the amount of games I play, I typically have an accuracy around 90 to 92. This is because I'm 2300 on LiChess. I'm black here. Queen's pawn. Horowitz. Always do the Horowitz. Always do the Horowitz. Always do the Horowitz. And he's going to play e4 this time. A different variation of the Nimzo Indian rather than a Horowitz. Do I care? No. Because I'm still going to play principal chess that not only defends my pieces, but attacks the center as soon as I can. My opponent also does the same, forcing my knight to move, but I just say, Takes. Take my knight. I take yours. Also, I have check on your king. You don't. Haha. And he says, queen takes. And I'm very offended by this. So I giddy up to c6 and say, back off, queen. You don't belong here just yet. You can come in later in the game, but not this early. And she says, oh dear! Ah! And I say, nay, back away. Now the only problem with me doing this is that I sacrificed my queen. So don't listen to Stockfish here. This was a stupid move of me to do. This was stupid of me to do, because White can just straight up take my queen and say, okay, you take our queen. We take your king. You take a bishop? We pick with king. Oh wait, I would be better then. Still, I don't advise what I played. I only played this because I was tired and fed up of people tonight, so last night, so I wanted to just bring my knights out and break principles, which I did, and now my knight was being attacked. And I decided bishop takes c3 was best here. But in all reality, queen a5 is somehow the best. Why? You got me. But all I saw is a fair trade, and then queen b6, which normally is principled. I'm sticking to my principles that I always do. Unfortunately, this is a blunder, due to not the best move. Queen a5 would have been the better move, moving it to here, but I'm not doing that. I teach on a B basis, not an A basis. And he finds queen takes g4, the best move in this position. A very strong player already. Knight takes e5. This is a fork on the queen and a pawn, though this knight is out in the open and has literally nobody defending it. Queen to d4, the best move, defending everything. Queen to b2. 7th rank infiltration of a rook or a queen is extremely strong to start off a middle game, which is what this is now. Rook to d1 is the best move. Why? I don't know. The only thing I can see is that the rook protects the queen and the rook's no longer in danger. There's one problem with this. One, I can now kick your bishop, which you don't do, and instead find bishop e2, which is just... Like, you sure that you found that normally? Because now I just have a free pawn. Like, what do you want? This is... Checks captures threats. White fails to see that this is threatened, and this is threatened, and just says, yeah, I'll bring out my bishop, which is Stockfish's highest move. Yeah, well, you missed the whole point of opening principles. Yeah. F4. That's a juicy move. There's one problem. Your king isn't castled, so, yeah, knight c6. Let me just move my knight back to where it was, attacking your queen once more. Goodbye, queen. F takes now, because the bishop has been hanging for 5 eons, and I haven't seen it, so I ought to take it now. F takes back, yep. Queen to b3. Attacks the rook and these two pawns simultaneously. I have tempo for right now. But if my queen dies, I'm done for. Queen to e3, defending almost everything. Knight to b4. If white blunders mates on the board, kids, can you find it? I'll probably make a short on this, on whether people can find mate on the board here. Because it's actually really simple to find. Bishop to d3. While this move looks like a good move, and normally I would play it, Stockfish disagrees. It says the best move was queen to c1. There's a problem with that, though, Fish. That undevelops your queen. No human's playing that. So I play knight takes d3, checking the king a bit earlier than I probably should have. But regardless, it's an equal trade of material. White happily accepts the trade, and I play queen to a2, moving my queen back to the 7th rank and attacking these, as well as this still. My queen is very active, white's queen is still recovering. Knight to e2, looking to limit down my queen's movement, but I say, what does that do? a5. My soldier's now coming, and I'm going to promote a little a-soldier. h4, the counter-soldier attack. But a4, but h5. And here I blundered. It wants rook to a5. But the fact of the matter is, I'm still defending with a rook. This should not be a blunder, but Stockfish says it's a blunder. It's still doing the same principles, though. And g6, he finds the only good move, asking for a trade up front, and I happily deny. But then he finds g4, yet again the only good move, kicking my rook back, making my moves being a waste of literal time. And then he finds g5. Great move on great move on great move. This guy has literally slapped me in the face for the last 3 moves. Now I literally have to find something with my queen. And so I do queen a3. A failsafe trying to attack this pawn only. But it doesn't matter. G takes, and queen e3, attacking this pawn while still defending everything. King to g7. This king move took me a whole 1 minute and 17 seconds to find in this position. Yeah. 1 minute and 17, guys. By this point in the stream, my opponent has an unaccountable amount of time still. For reference, we're all the way over here. I forget which move this is. I'm not even going to pull up. I want to see where we are in the thing exactly. King to g7 for black. We're on move 28. At this point of the game, I am down to 4 minutes. My opponent still has 7 somehow. Knight to g3. This move does nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, I somehow find this. Rook to a5. And the funny part about this is that it's not even a great move. The Stockfish likes it, but it does nothing. You're just attacking this, which is defended twice. Somehow Stockfish says black is better. I don't buy that with any value whatsoever. White is better. Knight e4. Rook to e5, pinning the knight to the queen as a last-ditch effort. I'm down to 3 minutes on my clock at this point. Queen to d4, attacking my rook, and d6, the only surviving move. But unfortunately, that's a free pawn if white sees it. But it finds rook h4 instead. Again, a rook move that does absolutely nothing. Bishop d7. Supporting my a-soldier once more. And now, my back rook has free roam. King to d2. I'm not sure what king to d2 does. I'll be honest. Even when I reviewed this off-stream, before starting today's stream, I'm still not sure what king d2 does. King, queen to b2 check. My final attack, final chance begins. King to d3. Rook to f3. The ladder is beginning. Queen e3 is forced, and I take that queen. He takes that rook. And now, kids, this is another very special endgame. It's a knight for a bishop. But it's not just anyone, because black also has a pawn advantage and a queen advantage. Statistics would say that black is completely winning, but white is not fully out just yet. I still have to secure the win, and at this time I only have a surprising 90 seconds left on my clock to find mate. Meanwhile, my opponent has still 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Queen to c3, taking the pawn, checking the king. Rook takes d3. Queen e1. King f3, the only move. Bishop to c6, attacking the knight, looking for mate on the board. Stockfish now rates it mate at 12. Of course, I can't see this, because I don't have good endgame vision. We've already talked about this on the channel, especially against high-level players. Rook e3, surviving. Queen takes a4. I just see a free rook and I take it. 1 minute left on my clock. c5. I'm panicking. Bishop takes e4. A traded material. He doesn't find it. He instead plays king e2. The best move. I don't know how it's the best move, but I just say free pieces. Rook takes c5. And this is the beginning of the end, because now the king runs to d1. I'm going to wait a couple seconds because the analysis doesn't want to analyze, but I want to roast Stockfish once more before I end this stream. Fine, we're not going to let it happen. King to d1, queen to h2. Still attacking that pawn, but also looking for mating thread ideas. Rook to e2, looking for a trade that would devastate my entire position. Check. Looking for a better angle. And I have 15 seconds to find mating 1. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. My queen is hovering over the mate square, but I'm making sure that every square is covered. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And with 0.6 seconds, mate is on the board, securing me my 2100. Just before last night's stream ended, and just before I was banned. Again, special shout out to WinTR Chess for helping me with that analysis. I could have used LiChess, but I wanted to try something different tonight. Here are some final thoughts, though, from me before I end up ending this stream. I know chess.com's system is a very high system, and normally it gets just about everything right when it comes to cheaters. But they've said this before. This has been echoed across the community dozens of times. Nothing is perfect in life. Nothing. It makes mistakes. It's going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. The fact of the matter, though, is that the mistakes have been made, yes. They were already made. They were already fixed. I made my account back in the pandemic. That was my OG account. Played on it for 3 years, 4 years. I forget how many years. Had it banned April 7th. Played on LiChess. Did a 2100 blindfolded speedrun. Like, I kid you not. I have videos on that. Check out the channel. Check out the Twitch. After that, chess.com unbanned my account, knowing that they were actually wrong and that they banned a young prodigy. So they asked me to create a new account, that I stay completely silent about the banning, which obviously I didn't, because I'm an esports player for a professional team with sponsors incoming. So obviously I'm not going to do that. And number 3, they asked that I stay on chess.com fully as the main site. Nope, not doing that. Especially when it took you how long for the amount of evidence I sent you guys? How long? 2.5 months. They still unbanned me originally. And I've played here on chess.com again for 28 days. In those 28 days, I yet again got up to 2100. So I'm just proving myself again, and yet they're banning me again. There's nothing that I'm afraid of here, like, honestly. Their anti-cheat system is very good at finding people like this, but that's why there's an appeal system at the same time. Because there are occurrences when the system makes mistakes, makes false positives, and this is one of those, where it's already been confirmed once, and it's just getting confirmed again, that, again, I'm a legit player, again, I play only the English and card con, again, I have my own schedule when it comes to studying chess. Like, every day, I kid you not, regardless of what I'm doing, I'm playing at least 3 chess games in my mind a day. That's how much chess I have in my brain across all the esports as well that I play. Chess, Rocket League, and now new ones that will be coming soon to the channel. So yeah. I hope chess.com does see this. I hope you all enjoyed. If it does happen like the first time, and chess.com goes back on their own words, I have a hashtag on this stream, and I will be posting content on there as well. Hashtag free Crestmont AK. And yeah, not much more to say besides I'll keep you guys on the note in whether it actually gets unbanned or if we have a repeat of the first time and we just continue grinding LiChess. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Chess.com. I hope you see this once more. And this has been the story, yet again, of how my Chess.com account was wrongfully banned. This is my defense. This is my appeal. And with that, have a great rest of your evening, everyone. Good night.